Minister, thank you for being here. My question, I want to come back to C9 on the amendment regarding the good faith expressions. So the way I see it, this amendment was added by the committee, and then because there was a lot of controversy, they added a clarification which said, oh, don't worry about the amendment, it doesn't really mean too much. And I'm thinking, why don't we just get rid of the amendment that caused the original controversy? Because to me, the most important thing is that you've got a pretty good bill that, the way you introduced it. I really think it needs a wide range of public support. Combating hate has got to be something that everybody's in agreement with, rather than having a whole lot of people not being in agreement with. What do you think of that?
Monsieur le Ministre.
No, I appreciate your perspective, sincerely. Of course, we started with a bill that I advanced in Parliament. The committee, independent of my office, at the time, in a minority set of circumstances, made a decision to make an amendment that I believe, without that amendment, the very important protections of the bill, I sincerely believe the bill may have been defeated. It was clear that the Conservative members of the committee were in opposition. It seemed as though it was at significant risk that the bloc representation on the committee would have voted against the bill altogether, and I didn't want to see the protections that we had committed to Canadians in the election evaporate, because I keep seeing the news stories of how this protection is needed. When I actually saw the initial amendment and heard the response from some political actors, from communities of faith, I thought, if the committee can figure out a way to address this, I think they should. They actually did, on their own, come up with a proposal through engagement with different actors in the nonprofit sector and communities of faith, a provision that made clear that the practice of your faith would not constitute a hate crime. Philosophically, I do have a slight preference for the strategy the committee chose, because instead of suggesting that practicing your faith is a hate crime that demands the protection of a defense, it recognizes, by definition, that the ordinary practice of faith was not a hate crime to begin with, which in my view is a more accurate reflection of what the law ought to be in this country.
Senator Cardozo.
So if the bill passes in its current form, I suppose, I hope you think of some kind of PR strategy to explain the importance of it. My supplementary is to ask you what your plans are in the next 12 months in terms of legislation and policy on various issues. What are the major pieces you're looking at?
Certainly. So we have work to do I don't want to make assumptions. We are very close on 3 very important legislative commitments with Bill C9, C14, and C16 that I want to see through before I start looking at what's next. If you play golf and you're looking at the green before you make contact, you're not going to succeed. We have an opportunity to push these forward, but at the same time, there are other issues that we are working on. The implementation of the Black Justice Strategy and the Indigenous Justice Strategy are front of mind for me. We obviously have significant pieces of legislation across government that need to be informed by the Justice Department's advice, including major projects in this country. We can do more to advance the rights of people living with disabilities in this country, but finally, delivering on the upstream supports across government that will help prevent violent crime in the long term has to be a priority for my office, for my department, and for our government if we want to end violent crime in this.
Merci, Monsieur le Ministre.